Hi, welcome back. We're moving now southwards down the Garonne River into the Grave region to start off with. The Grave region is a region that's named after the soil that we have, the Grave soil, this gravel that's the typicity of the soil of the Grave region. And the key appellation we have here is Pessac-Léognan. So Pessac-Léognan is the name. Pessac is the name of one town, and so is Léognan. Pessac-Léognan is the name of the appellation which runs over these two towns. It's home to the other Premier Grand Cru Classé, the first growth, that is Château-Aubryon, and it's also home to many other Grand Cru Classés. I'm thinking of wines such as Domaine du Chevalier, Château Carbonieux, Pape Clément, all these wonderful, wonderful wines that have very much a Cabernet dominance. So we're in styles that are similar to those of the Médoc, maybe a bit less power, a bit more harmony in the wines of the Grave, but Cabernet dominance. And then we're going to have the blend, the typical Bordeaux blend, of course, of Merlot, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Malbec, Petit Verdot, and Carmenère. But what we have a lot more of in the Grave is white wines, and we've got some wonderful dry white wines in the Grave and the Pessac-Léognan appellation. Wines dominated by Sauvignon Blanc, and then we're going to have Sémillon and also Muscadelle, and the possibility of a few other non-major white grape varieties of the Bordeaux region. But these wines are going to be very much culinary wines, wines aimed at going with the local, some of the local food, seafood. We're going to have freshwater fish in creamy dishes, those kinds of dishes, with a Sauvignon Blanc that's a blend of Sauvignon Blanc that's often been oak-aged to bring complexity, to bring a bit more creaminess to the palate. So those are the typical styles of the Grave region, with Pessac-Léognan being the key appellation that you have to remember here, but again, a Cabernet Sauvignon dominance. As we move south, we're moving out of red wine territory to white wine territory, and to be more precise, a sweet white wine territory. We're moving to the magic region of the Sauternais, a region that produces some of the world's finest, if not the finest, sweet wines in the world. That's arguable, but the wines are produced using a phenomena that's very particular, that's called noble rot. Now, noble rot, what is it? It's a mushroom, it's a fungus that grows onto the grapes in certain condition. It's Botrytis cinerea, and Botrytis, Botrytis grows on grapes at a certain period in the year, in beginning, end of August, beginning of September, mid-September to end of September, when we have a good humidity, good fog brought by the Garonne River. This fog goes throughout the vineyards and is going to bring this special mold, this special fungus that grows onto the grapes. What happens is that this mold is going to absorb the water, it's going to use the water, absorb the water from the grape. As a result, the grape has less water. If it has less water, it has more concentration in sugar, and it's going to be sweeter. So it's going to give this grape the potential to produce sweet wine, or very alcoholic wine, but sweet wine in the case of the Sauterne wine. How does it happen down in the vineyards? During harvest time, as the grapes are being picked, the grape pickers only choose the rotten grapes. It sounds bizarre to hear, but only the rotten part of the grape is going to be picked. If the grape isn't rotten, it's left on the vine, and the growers will come back to it a week later, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. Sometimes they come back to the same vineyards 7, 8 times to be sure that all the grapes that are picked have this Botrytis fungus. The main grape varieties in the blend of the Sauternais region are going to be Sémillon. Sémillon is the main grape variety. We're then going to have a lot more Muscadelle than we have in the other white region, the white wines of Bordeaux, and also Sauvignon Blanc. What's important here is we're going to have sweetness. What's important to have in the wines is a high level of acidity, because this high acidity is going to balance our wine. Having a wine that's just sweet without any freshness turns it into a very flabby wine. Having that acidity and that sweetness is going to give the wines unbelievable aging potential. You know, wines that can age well over 20, 30, 40, and sometimes even 100 years. Again, these wines are going to be wines that need some time to mature for everything to come together to be harmonious. They're wines that benefit from aging. They're wines that are going to start developing wonderful flavors and aromas, a more complex nose, a more complex palate as the wine ages. So do age these wines. They'll very much benefit, and you'll very much get a much more return from your wine if you age these wines a little bit. In the next video, we're going to be moving across the Garonne, and we're going to be going to the Libournais region. Libourne, unknown in the wine world as the name of Libourne, the name of the town of Libourne, but it is the region where 2 of the finest appellations of the Bordeaux region come from, and those appellations are Saint-Emilion and Pomerol.